What's up all you beautiful people, are you ready for some good old-fashioned cringe? No? Well, tough luck, because here it is anyway, because there's some things that I wish I didn't have to say because they're kind of common sense, but I'm here saying it anyway. Because somehow people always beat my already super low expectations on how many things they can get wrong about me. And recently it was a YouTuber called Harley who made a video that really needs to have some points addressed, because not only is there just so much I need to be talked about in it, and I think a really just sad reflection on the state of the internet, seeing how many people are jumping on that bandwagon. So I feel like I need to do my duty, and I need to do a response here. But what made me even more curious about Harley and his channel was when I had people on my Discord tell me some very interesting claims about him. It was some very weird stuff, and I felt like an absolute boomer for having to have someone explain what a lolly is to me. But anyway, I'm not an expert on anime or really anything in that weird corner of the internet, so people have compiled a nice Google Drive with a bunch of screenshots and evidence of what Harley's been up to. So I'm just gonna put a link to that Google Drive down in the video description below so you can kind of make up your own mind on what you think of it. Sounds good? Okay, so with that kind of context, I was very curious to see what he has to say about my channel, and it was about what I expected. And my expectations for it were already very low from the very start, because he does a very good job establishing what kind of super low level of maturity we're dealing with here right off the bat.
Avrona is a commentary and tech review channel.
Yes, he calls my channel a commentary channel first, and then adds a quivering tech on at the end, even though I have the word tech right there in my banner, I have it several times in my description, and I'm even part of the technology category on YouTube. Yes, I'm totally a commentary and tech channel.
Who made some videos on peaches that were generally really bad.
And turns out I spoke way too soon because he managed to make the maturity level of video even lower somehow. That's not even mentioning the fact that he got so petty that he felt like it's necessary to also leave comments like this. Big yikes.
But today I'd like to discuss Avrona and how incapable he is of taking any criticism at all when it's levied against him, opting instead to claim that criticism is attacks and has no evidence, and a lot of the times just claiming that the people who are giving him criticism are attacking him or making it up or a lot of other stupid stuff.
I love how he says that, even though I already disproved that a ton of times, including in my response video to Mally's very misinformed video, which he covers in this very video of his own. So let me just repeat what I asked Mally in my response video to her. If I'm apparently so bad at taking advice or criticism, then how come I've changed so many things because of people's feedback? And so many things on my channel are directly influenced by what people said. For example, I have improved my lighting setup, I've improved my channel logo, I've changed the way I do my thumbnails, I have changed my channel banner, I have improved my video descriptions, I've been sure to add more keywords into my video descriptions, I've changed the way I phrase keywords and tags, I've changed up my channel description to be more informative, I changed the way I present my videos and how I edit my videos, I started adding more B-roll and things like that. So how on earth can anyone still claim that somehow I don't take advice and criticism? It really just shows how quickly misinformation on the internet spreads, and I think that this whole drama in general is, I think, just a perfect example of the kind of state the internet is in right now.
This video already has a negative like to dislike ratio though, so it's pretty obvious that most people understand this.
Yes, I know, it's very sad to see the ridiculous like to dislike ratio on a video, but I'm not sure why you're bringing attention to showing how easily so many people can jump on a bandwagon. And I find it almost disappointing I even have to talk about this video anyway, because there's just so much wrong in it, and yet people still somehow believe it, even though so much of it feels like just grasping at straws just to have any kind of point that they could use against me, even if they completely ignore the reality, or even just, you know, decide my own thoughts for me, which is always nice. Like here.
A lack of understanding for what to prioritize with content, and instead opting to improve the level of production quality in your video, choosing to buy more expensive equipment out of belief that it will mean you'll do better.
Yeah, no, I don't think that having better gear will magically make my videos perform better, because fun fact, that's not how YouTube works, and I don't think anyone thinks that's how YouTube works. But it can never hurt to have better and more gear. I already have my policy in place of spending all the money I have on the channel down to the penny. So of course one of the main things I can do with it is get better gear. And speaking of completely misrepresenting me or what I think, this gem.
A lack of interest in your content as shown in your DMs with Peaches, where you show you really only care about making content for the influence when you have no actual care for good content or your audience, and as such you aren't making good content.
Yeah, nice try trying to spin that one to say that I only care about the influence. No, I don't. That's just wrong. Next.
You also show a resistance to holding yourself accountable, opting to die on any hill you come across instead of actually acknowledging criticism thrown against you and trying to take it on board whether you agree with it or not.
And I absolutely love this clip, him trying to spin me simply wanting to stand my ground and not following a mob that's incorrect just because they're a mob, and somehow saying that's me being arrogant and not wanting to take accountability. Yeah, no, that's just me wanting to actually, remain in the right and not actually admit to something I didn't do just because a mob's saying it.
Peaches, you can't exaggerate a story about somebody else for comedy, especially if the person you're exaggerating isn't laughing with you. That's where Avrona's problem lies. You also can't call him things like the craziest small YouTuber when the guy is anything but crazy, and also doesn't appreciate you calling him that. If you didn't think he's a bad guy, then maybe not title your video this. Not only that, but despite making it a point to not mention his name in your video, you still put his name in the tags, as well as Big Joel's name, meaning anyone can find out who this video is about if they look hard enough, including me.
Kai mentioned in his video that this title was out of line, and that is one of the most bizarre claims I think I've ever heard about Peaches. Hyperbole and eye-catching titles are the norm on YouTube, and to pretend that it's a moral failing on Peaches' part in some way to title the video as such is just reaching.
I'm really having an issue here trying to figure out how you can't see this as an issue when she's talking about an actual other creator on the platform. If she did a video that's titled something like the craziest graphics tablet I have ever seen, no one would care. Literally, no one would care she titled her video that. It's just YouTube, it's what we have to do if you want to survive on here. But you're really telling me there's like no difference between her, having a title like that for some inanimate object and another YouTuber who's actually on the platform.
Okay, this is an insane straw man to try and change the point to look like he won an argument and to evade a criticism. The point wasn't Peach's thumbnail or title was the same or better than if it was about an inanimate object. The point made by Mally was that there was nothing wrong with the title as it's the norm on YouTube. You've changed her point and strawmanned it to be something completely different for the sake of evading the argument she's making.
Okay, out of all the points trying to spend in this video, this one probably takes the most mental gymnastics because he completely misrepresents what me and Kai were talking about. Kai was very correct in saying that it's kind of crossing a certain line to have that kind of title about another creator on the platform and exaggerating things like that. And I was simply agreeing with it because his point was very correct. But somehow Mally couldn't understand that, saying it's just part and parcel of YouTube life. Yes, exaggerated titles are part and parcel of YouTube life, but where do we usually see them? When talking about inanimate objects or things like companies or countries or things like that. I think most people can agree that it takes on a whole new meaning when you use a kind of title against another person. So I'm not sure if Harley just genuinely didn't understand this point or once again just tried to twist it and create an actual straw man while accusing me of making up a straw man, while all I was doing was agreeing with Kai's good point and elaborating on it because somehow Mally didn't understand it.
But if you thank Big Joel for his video and never went after him for his, why is it so different that when Peaches said the exact same things, you put her on blast and started saying that she was out of line with it? How did she do anything worse than Big Joel? And if so, why are you acting differently between the two for making the same points?
Literally a few seconds ago, you shown a clip of me saying that. So if you watch my videos regarding Big Joel, then didn't you miss the video I did where I went on for a really long time criticizing that video that Big Joel made and nitpicking everything that's wrong about it and things I didn't like about it? Yes, I admit I was very happy when Big Joel made a video about me, sue me. Even though back then I had some big issues with some of the content of the video, I just ignored it because I was just happy that my channel could be finally getting somewhere. In fact, I literally covered all of that in that 1 year on from Big Joel video. I talked about how I may have been a bit carried away over the excitement of having that video made about me at the start, but that doesn't mean I did not have problems with it, and in the end I did provide my due criticism towards that video, and yet now you somehow still have the audacity to say I didn't criticize Big Joel. I criticized both Peaches and Big Joel. I have a whole video criticizing Big Joel's video and why I didn't do it at the start, so well done on showing a clip that contradicts what you're about to say, I guess.
Peaches was spot on about this guy. I'm sorry, but she was.
Evidence pending, I assume?
Firstly, drop the attitude.
Oh, someone like you is definitely in no position to tell me what kind of attitude I can or cannot take against people who try to so actively smear my channel for no good reason. I like how she just presents those floating screenshots while over-exaggerating about the content, while not actually explaining why any of it is bad or somehow evidence against me.
Seriously? Instead of addressing every screenshot she showed that has actual substance, as I've already used 2 of them in the intro of this video, you decide to just say that it's all just blown up by malice, and then you just skip over it like it's just not relevant anymore. What?
I honestly don't even know what he's on about here. Like, or what am I skipping over? Like I've already said several times, those screenshots don't really prove anything. I'm honestly not sure how many more times I have to repeat that. She doesn't really provide any additional info on why exactly any of this is still bad.
Dude, do you want to know why it's bad? I mean, she's already spelled it out for you, but I'll explain. It's bad because your content is bad, and you continue to parade around acting like it's good, and crying about how your videos aren't performing, and then when people give you constructive criticism, you just reply with why. You won't improve that way, and if you want to improve, stop replying with why and instead take on board what people are saying.
Right, come back when I'm actually not taking people's advice and actively trying to improve my channel. And if you still have trouble comprehending that for whatever reason, just ask yourself that. Why on earth would I be disregarding actual, genuine and good advice and criticism for the channel? Seeing how my channel has been struggling to grow for so long, and seeing how much money I have already invested in it to get pretty much no return on investment whatsoever, what on earth would be the point of me not wanting to improve my channel? Just doesn't really make sense, you know?
Also, I think the bit was great, Mally. Don't worry about it.
I know it's very tempting to leave comments calling him a simp for saying that last part, but please don't. Let's kind of try and keep the discussion in the comments civil if we can. Though if you want to call him a simp, I'm not going to stop you. If I'm such a bad person and if what I was doing was so wrong, then you shouldn't have much of an issue explaining exactly what's so bad about it, right?
She didn't, I didn't, and I think that's where I'm done giving you my time.
I love how he just sounds like he gave up at the end because he just ran out of straw to clutch on. Not to mention what he said at the end literally makes no sense in the context of the clip he just shown. I don't think I've seen a video yet that has just such a vibe of just grasping at anything to try and make me seem like a bad and evil person. And I still don't know what this fad is about and why on earth do so many people want to achieve it, apart from it just seeming like another cool bandwagon for people to get excited about. I mean, so many people jumped on Peach's bandwagon when the drama around her came out, and then the opinion very quickly changed when it turns out that claims by people like Prismate Luke and others were exaggerated. I think the internet just really likes a good bandwagon, and unfortunately I have to be subject of one as well. And it's just so sad to see how many people are still falling for it. I genuinely kind of do sympathize with them because it's just such an unhappy thing to start hating someone so much just because of a few minutes of content on the internet. It's definitely not healthy. It's a good reminder of why so many people think the internet is such a toxic place. Oh, and if you want any more examples of how far Harley goes to try and have any point to have any kind of leverage against me, earlier in the video he makes an argument about how I accidentally left out this clip of me just staring at my phone and looking through Mali's video to then, you know, comment on. And then he tries to turn in some kind of like gotcha moment about how I need to pay more attention on how I edit, even though pretty much anyone and a dog would tell you how that's a very, very bad example and really doesn't prove anything. Because yes, slip-ups in editing do happen, especially in more complicated and long projects like that video was. But just accidentally forgetting to cut out one clip is not some example of continuous behavior, and it's not an example of a bigger fault that needs to be addressed. It's just a slip up in a video that was very easy to slip up in because of its larger scale and because of how you just constantly jumping between the video and then also my beautiful face. I mean, hey Harley, in your video you constantly have these weird frames of my video that appear out of nowhere that you clearly forgot to edit out. So I mean, can I make the same argument towards you? So yeah, we all make mistakes while editing. There's no need to be petty about it, is there? But anyway, that's it for this video. I hope I clarified some stuff. I really still think it's sad that this stuff even needs clarifying, but oh wow, it has to be done. So that's what it. As always, I love my patrons: Gavin Burns, Ryan, FQB, Naomi Sushi, Tiffany Jacobs, and Max Sumner. All the links, Discord and stuff is down in the video description below. Man, I just really don't have the energy. These kind of videos, having to just deal with this kind of nonsense always just sucks all the energy out of me, because it's just sad, but it has to be done. But anyway, leaving it here. Hopefully I can be back with a more happy video next time. But anyway, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye everyone. Goodbye.